Welcome, Warriors, back with another episode of Vigor Warriors 2, the 1% Club. I'm going to try to adjust this better here if I can. And again, today we are here, and this is the Wolf talking again. And let's go ahead and kind of focus on another topic. I hope you guys doing well. Hope you're on your plan and your purpose. You guys had a nice Thanksgiving and didn't eat too much. Back on your pattern today. And so today we're going to talk, and once again, thank you for all the subscriptions, comments, likes, all those type of things. I appreciate those. And please continue those helping us, doing those type of things we need to do to keep going. And today our topic is going to be one on don't worry about not being able to control everything. So the idea is that you cannot worry about not being able to control everything. And this is the key thing, guys. You're not going to be able to control everything around you. And we're going to talk about that a little bit here. So let's kind of delve into this a little bit. What does this mean? You cannot control everything around you, so don't worry about things you can't control. Okay? So I think that when we talk about things, most human beings want to have some level of order, right? They want to be able to have some kind of order in their life so that they don't have chaos. Now, there's some people believe that in chaos theory, and there's some people who believe that, people are better when they have a lot of chaos. And what I mean by chaos is disorder and not knowing what's going on. Some people believe that's the best way there is. Other people try to find order in things so they make sense. And so you have a lot of different people who view life in a different way. And so as we look at this, one of the things to look at is the fact that some people you run into will be very, very upset if they can't control everything around them. They have a high need to control. And then there's other people who, as time goes on, are able to deal with life differently. Now, what makes the difference between those two different people? Well, I believe the difference is the fact that when people have to control everything, they're really not in control of themselves. And I believe they don't have a lot of faith in things that they can't control. And this is kind of the key that we're going to talk about here a little bit. If you have self-control, you're controlling yourself, you don't need to control things around you. Remember, guys, it's not what things happen to you. It's really more of how you handle those things that are happening around you. And I believe this is really the key to everything that we do. If you're able to master yourself, and we start that obviously with retention, and if you're able to master things that you're doing around you, you're now able to kind of see the world in a different way. And that's what's happened to me. Over these past 500 and almost 50 days now, 47 days, I think it's 48 days. And that happens because now you're able to control yourself. You also realize that there's nothing you can do about things that you can't control. I mean, you're at a point where you're not God, right? We're not God. We're basically created by God, but we're not God. And I think sometimes people think they're gods. So what ends up happening, and I know how that is back when I was in my 20s and 30s, and you feel that, you can't do anything wrong, and then you're invulnerable. And those things are all things that are part of growing, this thing we call life. But I think the idea then is to realize that there's things that you're not going to control. I mean, we're a little bit of a small speck in this whole scale of things we call the world and life, right? And so to think that you're able to control a lot of things is kind of ridiculous, but you're fooling yourself, which a lot of people do. A lot of people do believe they're the center of the universe, and everything goes around them, and they're very self-centered. But this is when you end up having lots of problems. Because if you think you're the center of the universe, then you're going to get upset with things you can't control. And you're going to worry and get anxious about things that you just can't control. And so this is why it's always important to focus on what are the things that I can control and what are the things that I can't control. All right? Now, when we go through this whole idea of retention, right? The idea is that you can control yourself to some degree. Now, it took me many, many years to be able to do that, but I think you should be able to look and say, okay, what can I control around me? Obviously, you can't control the weather, though you can try to prepare for the weather, right? You can control, however, things that you do. And this is really where it comes down to start mastering yourself. Because there's things like the weather you can't control. But there's things like fixing your car, right? You can try to control. Or fixing yourself, you can try to control. And so the best you can do is try to kind of fix yourself in all situations that you can. And so as you look at trying to see, okay, how can I fix myself? How can I become a better person? A lot of that goes back into self-improvement. Trying to have some discipline, trying to have some ideas that are going to be beneficial to you. Do a lot of reading, do a lot of thinking about things, meditating, prayer, focusing on your goals, trying to stay in fit shape, work out the best you can, eat the right foods, don't get caught with a lot of addictions. Those are things that you can do, right? Those are things that you can focus on. How the world is going to be tomorrow, who is going to say what to you, and what government agency or corporate entity is going to say to you tomorrow or do you? You can't control those things, right? You can react to those things, and you want to react in the same way that you always react to it, in a positive, professional, and efficient manner, right? But you can't control that. And so this is why worrying doesn't make a lot of sense. However, we worry a lot. And this goes back to the level of faith. If you have faith, and I want to talk about faith in a couple different ways here. If you have faith first in God, then you should not be worrying. And the Bible says, do not worry for tomorrow. Do not have anxiety for the tomorrow. So do not have anxiety. Don't have fear. Now, when you're on your retention, I will tell you the fear goes down like crazy. Because you're retaining, and you're basically keeping you're almost at 100%. It's only when you release now that you're able to get more of these neuroses and depression and things like that. And I believe this is a huge problem with people. This is why I think people who sleep around and create high body counts, they're paying for it. They're paying for it in loss of energy, vitality, being sicker, weakening their bodies, all those type of things. When it comes down to it, you're basically kind of, destroying yourself. And the same thing when I'm talking about, worrying. Worrying is going to destroy you from within. But I didn't really realize the impact the retention had on worrying until I basically realized, okay, well, this is a major energy loss. And I feel so much better now since I'm focusing on retaining, that I don't have that kind of worry and that problem anymore. And so as you look at this situation, there's things that you're not going to be able to control. And why even think about those things? Those things will happen. Will you be alive in 20 years? We have no control over that right now. Will you be married in 20 years? You have no control over that, really. All you can do is live today. And this is the thing that I want to, finish up with. Is there's an old saying that you should basically live for the present moment. Okay? Don't worry about the past. The past is gone. Nothing you can do about that now. And the future has not arrived yet. This is why the word present in like Christmas presents is the present from God. This is the day, right? Think about that word, the present. Sometimes we use present when it comes to gifts because that's the present moment. And God gives us the present moment to be able to say, okay, we'll focus on today. Don't focus on tomorrow, and don't worry about the past. Okay, and don't worry about the future either. All right, guys, have a great day. We'll do another one soon. Battle on.